Let's go. We here.
BMore4Real,
Be
Uncle
more
Wayne
for
here with you.
real.
Another Wednesday,
Be
another
more
Wednesday.
for real, man.
Thanks for joining
We real
us.
about everything in our situation, man. It's good to be here.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm real on today. Be more snowball. You know what I mean? That's a BMore4Real thing. No, I had to get one. It's kind of muggy and hot out there, so I figured I'd cool off. How's everything going
Man,
today?
everything is all right, man. I can't complain. Every day above ground is a good one, for sure.
Every day what? Say that again.
Every day above ground is a good one. Remember that. You know what I'm saying? We got to be more for real about that situation. There was a guy, he said, I seen a video. I don't remember his name, but he had asked the person, he said, if I can give you $10 million today, but you die tomorrow, would you take it? And he asked two people. He asked a male and a female, and both of them said no. He was like, "So you would? So you telling me that you wouldn't take $10 million a day if you just for this 24 hours?" And they was like, "Nah." So he was like, "Well, then you telling me every day that you living is worth more than $10 million?" And that's the way you gotta look at it. That's the way you gotta treat it. I was like, all right, yeah,
that wasn't on Penn North though, was it?
No, it wasn't on Penn North. That was on YouTube show.
Be more for real.
Be more for real. Hey, we real about everything, man. We appreciate everybody that's
Thanks for
tuning
joining
in,
us
man.
tonight.
We appreciate y'all. We want to get into a lot of things today, man. We want to get everybody involved. First of all, if you don't know, go over to the YouTube channel. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment. Whether you agree or disagree, you know what I mean? It
You don't
even
have
matter.
to agree. That's not.
You know what I
we
mean?
don't
It don't
always
even
agree.
matter.
Do we ever agree?
We don't always agree about a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
We learn.
We have the conversation though.
So we learn that old famous thing.
And it's important to have the conversation too, because I happen to know that while you're having communication, whether even if you're arguing or whatever,
just said it. It's communication.
While you're communicating, you're not fighting. So that's an important thing. You know what I'm saying? You're not fighting while you are communicating. So that's the important thing. You never heard someone hold a full-blown conversation while, you know what I'm saying, in a fight with somebody. And that's because you don't do that.
And they don't fight. Baltimore don't fight. They get into brawls and get into shooting.
I don't mind when people arguing as long as you're not fighting. You know what I'm saying?
Being disagreeable. Mm-hmm. That's with Baltimore. We have to understand we don't have to all get along. We definitely don't have to agree. That's crazy if everybody was going around doing the same thing and agreeing. We'd be robots. But the only issue is when someone disagrees with you, don't try to be right. Be right. I mean, let that sink in. Thinking caps. Stop trying to be right and be right.
Mm-hmm.
You see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
We so busy trying to be right. We fight, go up, lose it all. And listen, it's so many brothers now, no lie, sitting in jail, realize they started out in a lie and end up all the way in jail, if they blessed to the jail part, because now that thing between death don't make it to jail. And then they realize it really wasn't worth it after all. Something so simple.
Right.
But we begin to disagree on everything.
Right.
But if you do, just learn how to agree to disagree. That old famous line. You know how we do it. Because listen, we're gonna be in this world until you die, so we gotta get along.
We might as well get along.
Absolutely.
A wise man once said that, and it still rings true to this day.
Wise man.
Yeah. We gotta get along.
Far and few in
Can't
between.
we all just get along? But no further ado. Hopefully y'all can hear us. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully the sound quality is good. We got a little bit of production going on today. Not as much as usual, but some. You know
things
what I'm saying?
Things are better. Production is much better. We hire and fire quick around here if necessary.
They say.
Hey, we got to do what we got to do. It is what it is.
They say it's good.
We want black excellence.
They say it's good. So that's what we want. We want things to be good.
So look, the topic you called me about again this week, and we talked about earlier. You know, this is where we go. Let's start and let's flow all the way down, because we got to finish off from last week when we talked about. Oh man. So we gonna go all the way
from last week. I don't even have that slide no more.
No, we do, but we were still talking about that riverboat situation.
Yeah,
we're gonna bring that up for the end.
Yeah,
but I just had to bring that back up because all we people still talking about that. I done learned more and more about that brawl.
Yeah, we're gonna talk more about that. In some capacity. Tune in and stay tuned in, and we're gonna get into that.
Subscribe. But we got for real.
We got a topic right here, right now, up for us right here. Um, is the government betraying us? What's wrong with our politicians? What's wrong with the politicians? I mean, what's your thoughts?
This is what I'm saying. Let me give you a prime example. Where is our vice president?
Where is she?
Yeah. Do anyone know? When we say that, we say the government because we depend on the government to be right and to do what's right. Now we getting ready to have different leadership for us, but we don't even know where. What is she doing? Don't government. So you talking about let us down? We don't even know what they're doing for us. I'm all confused.
Wow.
So when we brought this topic up, and then you do research. When you go to research, you go and it's like everything is Donald Trump. If you go into government, it's Donald Trump. It's Donald Trump, everything in the government. But then when you dig into his life, he connected to so many things with the government. Even the government trying to prosecute him. It's like, is that government?
Right.
Are they letting us down every day, Donald Trump?
A lot of people
letting us down, government.
A lot of people, especially our people, probably wouldn't agree with what I'm about to say, but I do admire certain traits about Trump. You know what I'm saying? Honestly speaking, like his business, Mongol savvy. I mean, he's a multi-billionaire. There are some things to be taken from him. I also respect the fact that, you know what I'm saying, if he don't like us and he's saying that straight up, I can respect that. I much rather respect somebody saying, you know, F you to my face, or I don't like you to my face, and letting me know what it is. Contrary wise to you smiling in my face and acting like everything is cool, but then you stabbing me in the back and you doing all this political shenanigans just to, you know what I'm saying, play the race card and do your racism thing that the racists do. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, you know what I'm saying, Trump don't hide nothing. So at least you know what you get with him. You know what I'm saying? He got very limited respect for other races and probably women. You know what I'm saying? That's fine with me. I know what I'm getting with him. You know what I'm saying? I know that probably rub a lot of people the wrong way, but that's just me.
He may try to hide a few things. He just wasn't good.
I don't think he can hide. I don't know.
He put it in the bathroom. In the ballroom on the stage.
And to be more for real, let's be more for real about it. I think he was 100 times better as a president than Joe Biden.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
This part that we're going to get on this, because listen, I'm 60 versus he's half my age. And then people get on Joe Biden, and once this, I got to ask this $100,000 question. What is Biden doing wrong? Listen to my question, because if he's such a bad president, what is he doing wrong?
Well, I think the question really should be, what is he doing right? Because at this point, the country is far worse than it was when Trump was in office.
But we were in
pandemic. At the end, but Trump at the end, but you know, gas prices was low. Not that the presidents control gas prices. They say they don't, but they do have something to do with it.
But we were in a pandemic, right? Remember
no,
that?
not Trump's entire. No, we wasn't in a pandemic.
I said when.
But and then I mean, we were in the pandemic, and Trump probably didn't take it serious enough. I guess what they say, or whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna be very cautious about what I say about the pandemic. I don't even want to touch the pandemic. As far as the presidency, you know what I'm saying, at the state of where we were a few years ago as opposed to now. Everybody's struggling now. When Trump was in office, there was some leeway. You had some gas, you know what I'm saying? Everything.
Nobody wasn't struggling when Trump was in there.
People were struggling, but not like now, man. Now it's just like OD terrible. You know what I'm saying? Gas prices, everything.
What did Biden do wrong?
Food.
I'm still trying to figure out what did Biden do wrong.
Biden doesn't stay on topic. Biden can't even hold a conversation.
He can't?
No, he cannot. No, he cannot. He gets lost in mid conversation. I mean, if you just look at it, that's the president. So don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying?
But you can't say he did.
He's doing the best of his job. I just think that.
When did he lose conversation? Ever did Biden lose a conversation?
Several times, often. Not even seldomly, but frequently.
When?
In conversation.
When?
And he talks about things incorrectly.
When? No,
I'm telling you, he's gonna say, look, Biden say something like this, quote unquote. I'm gonna give you 3 words. I'm gonna give you 2 words. Made in America.
No, That's 7. You started
No,
on
no, no,
Saturday
no,
Night
no. He
Live.
said that. I posted it on my own page.
Then
I'm
where
telling
is
you, I posted the short.
Sure.
I posted the
So
short.
let me tell you why I'm gonna say that
I
because
posted the
I'm
short.
60 years old, and
I
let me
posted the short.
explain something to you for you all young grasshopper whippersnappers out there, which you seem to understand something. Biden is old, and you all young generation better be blessed that you get old. He's old, but he's not feeble-minded. He's just not an energetic, run around, jump up and down older. But you've never seen him once have a conversation where he was feeble-minded. Never.
Yes.
And let me tell you
I
how
have.
when he holds conversation, listen, he's engaged.
Yes,
when
I
this
have.
man talks about bills, laws, and anything he can break it down to you. Listen, but you know what happened? They take clips and blast them on television and make him look that he's old. He is old, but don't mean he's feeble-minded. That man is real. And look what he's doing to help out. Look what he brings out. Let me explain something. You ready for this? Most of the things that he does, like let's say, for example, all those loans people went to school, which it don't make any sense when you go to college and you have all those loans. He's fighting to get those broken down. And you know what those Republicans all
Obama
saying?
was fighting for the same thing.
Who was?
Obama.
No, he wasn't.
Student loan forgiveness.
You know what he did?
Yes, he was.
These are two different things. Let me tell you what Obama did. He didn't fight for that. You know what he did? He pulled out Sally Mae. He took out instead of the bank owning it, now the government owned those loans and stuff that used to do. That's the only difference he did. See, you got to dig into that. Like I say, I live and breathe this stuff. Barack Obama didn't. So when you look at Biden, he's trying. He is really, and look at his power. Let me tell you why I'm strong on this. Policies and procedures.
Mm-hmm.
When I see when they trying to change policies and procedures, that's right.
What policies have he gotten to deal with major issues like police brutality?
And watch this and listen to this. First of all, he the first one that I'm glad you brought that up. He the first one that speak up on it. Listen, don't look at the clips of when he talked. Look at the whole speech. When you see he talks about how white folks can talk about this. This is a white man who brings this out of his mouth. How white folks talk about things that happened to them lately in crime. When he said blacks been dealing with this their entire existence. Now pull Barack Obama up in his whole 8 years. This man never brought up black anything. The only thing he ever brought up black was the young man that got shot. The one that he only brought
Trayvon
up. Right, but that could have been him. That was the whole 8 years he ever been black.
Now this is the thing about that, and that's why I said is the government portraying us. What's wrong with the politicians, right?
Betraying.
So, like a lot of times, look, this what I do see, and I happen to notice a pattern, and is that a lot of these politicians, they talk a good game. I guess that's a political game, and then when you get in office, what I'm saying, it's something different. But Trump, right? When Trump went in office, he made ways for the people who, you know what I'm saying, were rich. He made tax breaks and stuff like that. He looked out for his people. You understand what I'm saying?
Put them judges in there.
And all the other presidents, FDR, Ronald Reagan, I mean, they always kept their party's interests, especially their donors and the people that supported them the most. They always double down on their philosophies and theologies and things of that nature. And they looked out for their people. Maybe not in a capacity in which they said they was going to do it, but yet and still, they still made a way for their people. Now, what I find in a pattern is that when black people become politicians and things of that nature, that these people's success is predicated off of keeping us down and not sending that ladder back down, which we like to call gatekeeping. You know what I'm saying? Like these people, like in order for them to sustain their success, they have to keep us down. They have to keep dumbing us down, keep selling us poison and all of that other stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so I think that's a lot of what's going on. And then you see with the government, like Marilyn Mosby, right? She's facing 4 federal charges, and then you got the guy with the Operation Safe Streets. Can't remember his name right now, but you know who I'm talking about, the CEO of Safe
Um,
Streets. He has a federal indictment against him as
oh man,
well.
I just was talking this name earlier.
Yeah,
Right,
we were
right.
just talking about him earlier. He has a federal indictment as well. So now we're starting to see a pattern with these things, especially with Baltimore politicians. Now you have Sheila Dixon, who went from mayor's office to federal indictment to federal prison. We got Catherine Pugh, who went from mayor's office to federal indictment to federal prison. And you know what I'm saying? The list goes on and on. Now you got Marilyn Mosby, who's the state's attorney. And then you have the CEO of Operation Safe Streets. It's just fascinating. It's just fascinating to me that the pattern of corruption. I mean, we all know that the government is corrupted and things of that nature. They the biggest gang, but I mean, like they doing it right in front of our face, and how could they trust us to possibly believe in them and to you know what I'm saying, work with them in cooperation when things like this are occurring? This is why the question is posed, like, are they betraying us? You know what I'm saying? Is the government betraying us?
All right. Okay. Now let's hold that note right there. And I notice how you put all of the politicians in the law that they have broken and being accused of or having to go to court and all these things as far as the criminal side. But if you look at this, it's like none of them you can compare the same. They say they broke the law, but I don't see one have to do with the other. Let me give you an example.
As would be happy.
If you're in a relationship, let's say you were in 3 relationships in your lifetime and you broke up with all 3 of them. That doesn't mean all 3 was it was your fault that it didn't work out, even though you broke up with all 3 of them. All 3 need to be looked at separately. Do you kind of see what I mean? It's
No,
like
you guys break that down for me. By the way, brother Maurice, appreciate you, brother Nadi. He said they really think they above the law.
But that's why I'm saying coming to me, but they don't. It's not, because if you got to look at each case separately, especially Marilyn Mosby, if you look at what she's charged with versus, Sheila Dixon and Catherine Pugh, and especially my brother with with
Well,
Marjorie.
I would say they all have something majorly common. That's a common thing.
The people that's prosecuting them.
I see the pattern. The common theme is them misabusing and misappropriating funds. They're trying to say that they're using like Captain Pew with the children's book or whatever. Holly, what is the thing? The Holly Foundation. The Holly Foundation. They were saying that she was using the books and all of that other stuff and doing some fraud and things the way as though it created a couple million extra dollars in her pocket. Sheila Dixon, they were saying that she was scamming with the gift cards and all of that stuff with the taxpayer dollars and stuff like that. Yeah. Now you got Marilyn Mosby being accused of the same thing, buying 2 vacation homes and frauding out with her thing. And then you got Safe Streets with over $1 million. They saying that he took the PPP loans and all this other stuff. So it all has something to do with misappropriation of funds. And that is a pattern that's common throughout all of them.
Well, Lord, you all can help me out here. Just help out, send me out.
Brother Nadi said crime is the commonality. LOL. Real talk.
All right. Let me show you an example of crime that how they consider crime, because when I say each case, let me give you a prime example. My mother, when we were young, to get school lunch, you had to change some things on that application. True fact. In order for you to go to another school in a certain district, you had to use your aunt or somebody's address in that area to do that. And these will break the law. These are federal forms or state forms that you sign. They are really criminal, that you can be held accountable. Now, let's move that aside. Let's show a different type of a mother who broke the same law. They needed gas and electric. You are a child. Your parent put the gas and electric in your name.
Right.
Do you kind of see what I mean?
Right.
These are both parents who technically broke the law each way. But do you kind of see what I mean? In order for us to live a normal life, every single person that's black that lived in the United States of America has broken a law.
Well,
if you tell me one that have not,
I don't necessarily agree with that, because
that's stone.
All right, maybe for the most part. Maybe for the most part.
Is not
see, I don't want to talk about my own anecdotal experience, but my parents didn't do that. But by the way, brother,
well, I bet they lied on the credit card.
Brother Nadi, he already commented again. He said we know there's many tiers of crime, but it's crime nonetheless, fraud, etc.
But see, this is what I'm saying. If we don't discuss it, that means every single person done a crime. Let me give you a prime example. Your credit card. I'm gonna give you a prime example. You don't realize it's a federal offense. Your credit card application. Did you not lie at time that you work? Time that you live at that address? How much you make?
Nope.
All of them. A credit card application.
I gotta say that.
A credit card application, and it's exactly line for line the truth.
Well, you got.
I almost know there is none.
You got to.
There's a federal but you see when you sign on that line, it says it's a federal offense to lie.
Exactly.
This is exactly
Brother
what I'm
Maurice said
talking
the
about.
same thing.
Everyone.
See, some things
breaks the law.
So some things you don't totally tell the truth about. But for me, when it comes to the IRS and the government and all that stuff, with credit and all that stuff, for me, I don't lie about that on the application because you know what I'm saying. When they go to audit you, then you are committing.
They don't audit no credit card application. Nobody never audit a credit card application. Only if you run for office. So now maybe you ran for office.
Said again. He said, "I don't lie when it comes to that paperwork. Not even a little bit, for real. That paperwork.
You lying now.
That paperwork.
See what I mean? Lying now.
No, you gotta be. You gotta be official.
If this was a federal,
you gotta be official.
If this was a federal crime to send in a comment, you know it's a lie because we can run down your whole credit application. Listen, we live. I can say I don't lie. I can say I haven't lied on a credit application because that's not what I do. I don't even know enough about it to be lying. I don't know where to lie. Resume? Huh? No, I don't. I never had a resume. No, I've never had a 9 to 5. I've always worked as like a contractor and stuff like that. I've never had typical 9 to 5 job. That wasn't me. I'm not a Burger King. Maybe you're once in a million. That's not me. I'm not. Never lied to get an apartment. But I work. I've never lied to get in an apartment. No. First not a car, house. Never lied about first car. Booked my first car outright. To rent a house, apartment complex. All your applications is absolutely true. For real. True. Through and through. True. Hey, listen, I can't knock a man. He says true, but he's the only one. He said, I don't lie on resume either. I was raised different, I guess. I don't think you make it seem. I would hope most people don't lie. And if you do, how can your employer not even follow up on that though? Like your job as an employer. I'm not trying to say people who do these lies are hardened criminals. Come on, this is life. You can't tell the truth on little things. You can't really tell the truth in relationships. You got to start accepting the blame. We all want to blame everyone else. These some stuff that we get better at. And if you didn't, so well, I'm not calling everyone, but 98% or 99.9%, we did it. We did it to get to the next level. So when I say that, when you look at everyone that you consider that's broken the law, look at Marilyn Mosby, what she did with hers. That's why I'm saying she moved her own money around, her own. So when you pay attention, because I know so many people do that, they are not hardened criminals. They don't deserve to be prosecuted. And especially when you say, look who's prosecuting them. I'm gonna act like I didn't see that, brother. Now to be, he said, boo. Hey, yo. You don't have to agree with me. Hey, look, that's what we on here for. I'm going to get off here and still say the same thing. For real, though, I mean, like, I can't pull up your credit application. I don't know how to take your word for it. See, for real, though, I didn't. I had to take your word for it. I didn't. I haven't, and I don't. I really look, more power to you. But I say, what I'm saying is, none of us are perfect. And when you try to be and pretend you be, you're going to fail at everything. Hey, look, I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. But I look at everything differently. Every single person is different. Every situation is different. That's how I look at us. And us as a black race, we got to look at each other like this. We can't all gather together. Oh, all of them criminals. Throw them all away. You got to be careful what you say now. You know what I mean? You get that knock on your door, you know what I mean? And you call to somebody, collect call for something. You got to be careful. Life is life. You know what I mean? Right. We appreciate y'all, man. Yes. For the comments. In. We appreciate the comments as well. We definitely would encourage y'all to go over to the YouTube. We're trying to grow the YouTube up. You know what I'm saying? But we need our solutions. Jump in the algorithm.
We're trying to do that. You know what I'm saying? By the end of September, we definitely want to have at least 100 subscribers. Subscriptions are absolutely free. We're gonna continue to bring content. We're gonna bring people within the community. We're gonna tell y'all what's going on.
We
You know what
need
I'm
your
saying?
comment.
We're not just gonna talk about the typical status quo, what everybody talking about. We are actual real content creators that's creating content that we need to talk about. So, with that being said, what we're gonna need from y'all is to go over to that YouTube, like, share, subscribe,
Subscribe.
comment. Everything is free to do. We appreciate y'all in advance. You know what I'm saying? Let's go over to this next topic that we have here. Um, are we wasting our lives? There are so many talents lost, and the whole purpose of this segment is that, I mean, it's a lot of people, even in Baltimore. Let's be more for real. It's a lot of people in this city that have a lot of talent, and we sit here and watch people that have talent at the talent
That's what we
that
do.
waste
Real
their lives,
producers, you know,
that,
we know,
that
right?
get killed on the streets. Yeah, and we're in the music scene, producers, what have you and whatnot. We are doing things where we know for sure what we're talking about. It's not just rhetoric that we're talking. So what I'm saying is we live in a community where we have a lot of people, man. We lost a lot of ones, man. I lost a lot of loved ones, lost a lot of ones to the streets, and it's like
Yes.
so many of them was talented, so many was artists, so many could paint, draw, tattoo, so many were like rappers, singers, so many was so talented in so many ways, you know what I'm saying? So gifted, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, are we wasting our lives? And that's my big thing, you know what I'm saying? Because like I believe in the Bible, as everybody know. I believe in the word.
Holy.
And it says your gift will make room for you, and gifts come without repentance. So everybody is born with a gift, and whether you believe in the Most High, whether you believe in the Creator or anything, that doesn't even matter. You're born with a gift, and it comes without repentance. So I believe everyone that's born in this world has a gift that they was given by the Creator. It's just a matter of if we will go out and take that risk and use that gift to see what it has for us. What you think about
All right,
that?
let's flip that other side of the coin. So, if you're born with a gift, how are you going to know the gift you have if you don't believe in God? That's Satan's powerful thing. Is if you don't believe in God, you're really not going to tap into your gift, because society set it up that they know your gifts are how well you can read and write.
Right.
See, because they don't know your gifts. So when you go to school, they only target on how well you read and write in arithmetic.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know who you are doing it that way. So if you don't spend time with God to understand what your skills and powers are, you're never going to know. Because if you're not a great reader and writer, school is finished with you. Society is almost finished with you. Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
So if you got gifts that God has given you that really going to change our world, we'll never tap into it and get them because we have never learned who they are.
All right. First of all, as well, brother Nadi, we appreciate you 100-fold, 200, a millionfold. He says artists and producers to a degree are scared to make it because somebody is definitely going to try to kill you, and that is an awesome point. You know what I'm saying? We live in like a crab in a bucket type of city, and we were also talking about how on a different aspect outside of the box, how the crabs in the buckets are. But on a real note, on what we know what the crabs in the bucket is really when you're trying to make it, and when you're about to make it, and you at the top of the barrel, and you about to get out. You know what I'm saying? There's the people that drag you back down. You know what I'm saying? They either drag you under or they kill you. You know what I'm saying? We have plenty of examples like that with Law Scooter and things of that nature. So we got plenty of examples of us gatekeeping our own selves. Like we can't even make it our own selves because we are in an unhealthy competition with each other. And that's why I was saying as well too, are we wasting our lives? Because so many of these talents are being lost on these streets. I mean, look at Murder Inc., man. Look at the Baltimore's Memorial. Look at all these other pages across social media and see the lives that are being taken. See Chicago and their rappers, and as soon as their rappers start to get a little buzz and all of that stuff, look at how they just don't make it. I mean, they say now rap is the most dangerous profession that you can have, and I can agree with that. What would you say about that?
Listen, once again, I'm 60 years old.
Right.
Hey, I'm strictly Uncle Wayne from the middle of the streets. Let's flip the other side of the coin. Just like I said, all those criminal situations are different. Every person that make it and come back to the city don't get shot and killed. That's just not true. Some do, some don't. And I'm not putting any situation, but every situation is different. Now, when you make it to the top, you really don't know how that person made it to the top. Everybody don't make it to the top being nice and being kumbaya with everybody and they cool. A lot of times you make it to the top by stomping and stepping on people to get there. So a lot of times you leave some enemies that didn't forget. So a lot of times they jump into the front. It's me. I made it to the top by myself, and you really know that you didn't. And the people you left behind ain't gonna let you forget it. So you really don't know the story. I'm Uncle Wayne. I'm 60 years old. I done seen Rich and Famous several different times. And I say this to you all. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. You know? That's just how what I'm saying. So every situation is different. But everybody ain't gonna kill everybody who made it rich and famous. That's just not true. And I know there's a lot of jealousy and hate, especially in BMore. I don't know what it is. Is it the water or what? It's a lot of jealousy. You know, it's a lot of jealousy in Baltimore, and we got a lack of loyalty. All at the same time.
Jealousy, envy,
and a lack of loyalty.
Jealousy, envy. We
And
got a lot
lack
of
of loyalty.
unhealthy competition and all that stuff. And that's what I wanted to say too. A lot of times we are our own biggest
Worst
enemies.
Yes.
I mean, we would say that it's the white man. We would blame it on the
Not
white
anymore.
man. As much as we would like to,
Not anymore.
we have
It's
to
not
acknowledge. We have to acknowledge the. We got to let's be more for real about the situation, because we kill each other more than the police and the white man kill us. And let's be
Now
real.
we do.
Between each other, between us, let's just keep it real and say, look, we kill each other more
Now we do.
at alarming pace. Now we do. It hasn't been that way before, but now it's been such ingrained, and that's the reason why I refuse to make, me personally, I refuse to make music that's the same as these other guys out here keep talking about killing and selling drugs. I mean, we just need something different. And the only thing about that is the different things about the music and all the stuff they won't promote. And look how it is. I've been making music for years now, and really, I kind of like last week when we were talking about tipping in America, how like when you work and you knowing that you're not gonna get tipped for your service, you kind of like lose morale. You know what I'm saying at that point, because you know that music and stuff like that is not going to be pushed by the industry. It's not going to get the recognition it deserves because they have their own agenda, which is to keep on pushing this filth and this garbage that everybody keep on rapping and singing about. I mean, for goodness sakes, R&B used to be smooth, love related, but now it's just like selling drugs. It's like rap being sang. For real. It's like somebody singing rap lyrics. And that's what it's turned out to be. So I mean, although it's still good music, we have good producers, we have good engineers and things of that nature. It's still what is the message that we sending over to our own people?
Our younger generation. Remember, they are our future. What we put in the younger generation, I told you I'm 60. Remember, I woke up 21, 33, 42, 55. Now I'm 60. Time rolls and waits for no one. And what you do comes back on you. Prime example. This is what I'm telling you in life, what it is here. So, like I said, when it comes down to these entertainers, if these entertainers just keep being you. This is what I'm saying. Own up to what you did and move on. You can't go wrong.
Right.
But stop trying to be perfect and better than everyone else.
Right.
We can all get along.
Right.
We need each other. You know how it is, whether you like it or not. We need each other.
Right. And look, See, just like everybody else, this podcast is not perfect. But if y'all could, those that's on Facebook, go ahead and share,
The
like,
comments.
and share the screen, like and share the stream, excuse me, so that we can get the recognition that we deserve. We're talking about things that really matter. If you find something out of this conversation, please do us the due diligence of liking and sharing the stream. We also will hope that you guys will go over to the YouTube page. We're on YouTube at the BMore4Real Podcast. Now, and we also have the Gmail. So now, if y'all want to get in contact with us, you want to promote your business,
Yes.
you want some topics you want to talk about. Not only do we have the Instagram at BMore4Real Podcast, we have the email. It's BMore4Real podcast at gmail.com. Again, that's BMore4Real Podcast at gmail.com. And brother Nadi said again, he said you can't sing about love if you don't know it. And see, that's a good point. A lot of us do not know about love. The
That
situations that we've been forced in today
unconditional
is just,
love.
man, it's like,
That's
really
a difference.
I think at the state that we're in right now is probably worse than the Jim Crow era, because at least in the Jim Crow era we still had families, we still had camaraderie within
That
the black
unity,
community.
yeah.
We still had that unity. We still was able to create Black Wall Streets and all these different places within the United States that was black wealth and black excellence. But in these days and times, it seems like the only way that we get ahead is by destroying our own selves and showing death, poison, and all this stuff into our own community. And like, we're very frustrated about that. And that's why this is the Be More for Real podcast. Remember that, because we're going to talk about things that they just don't talk about. They just don't seem to touch. This the realest conversation on the planet. I mean, like, the entertainment from through and through. Whenever we are given an image, whenever we are portrayed somewhere, it's just like we have a bad image. We have a bad reputation. We were talking about tipping. Black people even have a bad reputation of tipping when you go out to eat and you get in service. I mean, like, how bad does it have to get for us to wake up? We the people that started civilization. Let's be real. Let's be more for real about the situation. The same people that started civilization are now acting uncivilized and uncouth.
So let me explain something. What's the solution?
Man, the solution is getting back right with foundational principles. I've always preached that we always needed a code of conduct. See, it's nowhere you can go that's actually of importance that doesn't have a code of conduct. Will Smith found that out at the Grammys or the Oscars, whatever the hell it was, when he smacked Chris Rock. You feel what I'm saying? Like, even up there when you get in your awards, they got a certain code of conduct. You can't even come there dressed like how you want to. People go to their jobs and you dress for the employer. You take the employer's dress code. You take the employer's code of conduct. When we come to America, what we're supposed to do is have the American code of conduct, follow the American laws and all that stuff. And brother Maurice is about to sum it up all in what I'm saying. He said there are rules that govern all things. What are the rules that govern us? See, that's what I was saying. Even now in the streets, like, man, it's no rules. It's like, if you had an enemy and you try and get to your enemy, you would shoot 29 people just to kill one. Which means you're shooting 30 people just to kill one person, and you probably kill, you like you said, you probably kill the innocent person and don't even get your target in the process. Like, this is the uncivilized, the non-foundational principles that we have. There's no code of conduct for our people. It's like nobody can say nothing to our kids. You see our kids messing up and all that stuff. The moment you see your kids being messed up out here, can't nobody say nothing to your child now. The teacher can't say nothing to your child now. The person that's responsible for daycare and watching your child, they can't say nothing to your child now. And I understand these are days and times where people can't be trusted with your child. I understand those things, but we have to have discernment as parents and as adults to discern these things. And that's what I'm saying. We just don't have these traits. How is it that we don't have these traits? When animals have families and run their families way better than us. Monkeys run their families way better than us. They understand how family operates way better than us. And we are the only race like that. If you look it up, the races out here, they don't talk about their families like that. They don't make music about killing themselves like that and things of that nature. They just don't. We the only culture on the face of this planet. Africans, Jamaicans, they don't even make music like that. I'm gonna kill you. Every day, all day, I'm gonna sell some drugs to you. I'm gonna take your woman. I'm gonna take your wife. What other culture does that? It's just us, right? It's just us, but we asking for justice, right? Justice is just us. When are we gonna give it together and it's just us? That's my thing. And I'm very adamant about this. And we got a comment from a very special person as well. Mama Angel, she said Baltimore is known for crabs. What are we? We are what we eat. Excuse me. Baltimore is known for crabs. We are what we eat. And oh wow, I'm gonna let that marinate for y'all. The mentality seems to be grab a hold. Excuse me. The mentality seems to be grab hold, pull down, so you can be on top. So I mean, like, yeah, and that's very interesting that you say that. Baltimore is a city known for crabs. Maryland and this whole Chesapeake area as well.
Known for crabs.
It's known for crabs. And there's no wonder why we're a crab in a bucket city, man. I mean, like, that is an awesome analogy. That is an awesome analogy. That's an awesome analogy. And we appreciate everybody that's tuning in, man. We really do. We hope y'all go over to that YouTube. Y'all like, share, subscribe, share this stream, man. We talk about something real all the time. Be more for real, man. Let's go.
I really do admire that passion. That work, the passion. That should tell you how you felt about that. I mean, we do this podcast regularly. That really touched you. Yeah. But see, when that touched you all to make a difference. See, I'm 60. I have to say this 1,001 times. I mean, here it is. We can be there for you all, but it's you all time to make a difference, because if you're not, your children are going to have to go through the same situation or worse that you all went through. So you all got to make a difference. Just like you said, look at what we have now. It's nothing that respect the black man that's out here. People get upset when I say this, but make it clear.
Right.
White man rules and regulations, policies and procedures have us stunned, have us stuck, at us spinning out of control. If you all don't do something about it, can you imagine your grandchildren?
Mm-hmm. How much more? How much more? And so we appreciate everybody. Like we said, look, if you got comments, we'd like for you to join the YouTube or the Facebook. Throw your comments on there, so your comments will be definitely heard. We appreciate everybody for viewing in advance. Go head over to that YouTube, man. We can't stress enough. We're doing some things, man. We're really doing some things. Go ahead and share the stream if you're getting something out of it as well. And we want to appreciate everybody as well for joining the stream. We can't reiterate that enough. And now,
right,
for the topic of the night, race relations in America. Let's go ahead. We're going to take we're going to take a quick pause, and we're going to see what this segment has to say.
I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated
So, but you need to see this video.
Oh, you know what? We can't hear the audio. Let me see if that has something to do with it. Let me see. Let's see if we play it over. I know we couldn't hear it. Can't hear audio. Appreciate y'all. Let me see let me see if y'all can hear this.
I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy.
Can y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Just a little bit. Y'all can't hear that. Let me see. Let me see if I can. No. Okay. Okay. So I appreciate y'all. See, that's the whole thing about going live that we appreciate, man. We appreciate the live viewers because y'all help us get the audio right. So let me see. Let me see if I can get that audio. I might can't. She said play it again. Play again. Okay, so let's see. Turn it up a little bit.
I want every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
Okay, so from what I understand, y'all heard that. Probably played it a couple of times, but hey, we still getting together. We being more for real about this. We still learning on the fly. So hey, it is what it is. But it's race relations in America,
and it's important to hear this video, you all. That's why we really need to get that on, because this video itself, within itself, speaks volume.
Yeah, that's quite an interesting point. And see, a lot of these topics are not being talked about because people hate to talk about them, and I think
they feel uncomfortable.
I think it detracts people from being able to talk about it, especially white people, Caucasian people. You know what I'm saying? I guess they would be the most uncomfortable to have the conversation with. But these are the people that we need to have the conversation
and
with.
And there are blacks who don't want whites to feel uncomfortable either. It is. It's just as plenty of them because they feel uncomfortable making whites feel uncomfortable.
Right.
But if we never have this conversation, and this governor DeSantis, what is that? Is his name?
Florida?
Yeah, that's right. Do you actually realize? I was floored to realize the situation that happened when they, mixed the schools, or them 5 kids were going to the school. That true story that we all learned about how they did them 5 kids that went to that school, them 5 black kids went to that white school for the first time. He actually banning that book itself as not being factual. That part alone, I wanted to dig in further because I heard a little bit of it as I was leaving.
And what's the name of the book?
It's about those 5 when they first mixed the races. As far as going to school, it was 5 kids. It was a real popular book and a movie about these Ruby 5 Bridges? Kids. What is that about? I'm not quite sure. I should have pulled it up. I remember I was growing up. But I knew we were growing up. It was very fascinating, and it was a real factual event that happened. But he actually banned that book because of some stuff he's doing, saying that we can't teach certain things about Black history. And now they're actually pulling the book and teaching the whole lesson itself. I'm saying, how much power can one white man have?
We have another
not
comment.
Even the president.
We have another comment, and we, like we said, we appreciate all the commenters.
Wish y'all could hear that.
If y'all could go over to the YouTube as well. We're going to continue to stress this. Go over to the YouTube, subscribe, and turn on your notifications as well so that you'll be notified when we go live with this, man. We're not just talking about relationships and all that other stuff. We're getting into relationships and all that other stuff later. It's a lot of things to talk about other than relationships, but we being more for real about our whole situation. Be more for real. It's not just about Baltimore. It's not just about the city, period, or the county. What it's about is being more for real about everything, about our situations, our conversations, our dedications, our occupations. Is just being more for real.
I like that for the breakdown.
It's just being more for real. So make sure y'all go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. If y'all know some white people that need to see this video, it might be some white people that need to see this video, that y'all got some friends on your page. You know what I'm saying?
We learn together, y'all.
Share this video on y'all stream so they can see. We
learn together, y'all.
If y'all white, y'all got some black friends that need to hear this, put that on your page so your black friends can hear it, and let them know know that, you know what I'm saying, you listening as well. But as we digress, she said things are slowly changing because races are mixing. That won't stop. And that's a very great point. And my point is,
what was that question again? I'm sorry.
My point is this. My point is this, is that races, the race relations have been taboo to talk about because we can't get into the real. Appreciate Tracy on the comments. She says can't wait for the live audience show, which we have something slight here now, but we appreciate everybody nonetheless. We building, we growing, and we can't wait as well.
Thank
for
you,
everybody.
JT. We will be there real soon for that
everybody.
live audience. We're getting there.
Go over to that YouTube, please, everybody, for real. Be more for real. You see it, be more for real. But as I was saying though, it's like the race and racism can't be talked about because it seems a little taboo. And it's like you can't talk about it with your white friends, you can't talk about it with your black friends. But we here to be more for real. One of the things I want to be more for real about is that white people have to take the accountability that they attributed to the greatest atrocity on the face of this planet. When you have had slaves and all that stuff, and I know, you know, white people have the argument that, oh, I didn't own slaves or whatever, I wasn't here for that, but yet and still the damage has been done. Where people, you have a certain particular people that have been taken out of their natural habitat as they were like animals, and had their identity and things of that nature stripped from them, their names and everything else like that. So when we start to acknowledge and have conversations like that, then we can grow. So okay, now you know that you attributed to that. What are the repercussions and what we like to say reparations? But you know, it's like we won't get reparations. The reparations aren't coming, but they are most importantly needed, especially when you're talking about black people, how far we are behind, how much we're incarcerated, and things of that nature. I'm gonna let you go, but I definitely want to say something important. And if this video could get out, that's why we need y'all to share this. I want to talk to a specific person who is logistics. He's a white guy. I want to talk to him. I'm gonna get his name, but yeah.
All right. Well, listen to this. But we go with slavery, but as blacks, we need to take accountability. We say the worst thing ever was we became slaves through white man, but
right,
we got to go a little bit further. The worst that we done was be disobedient to God. See, as black men, we got to understand why slavery was even came about. Remember, we kept disobeying and being disobedient and being disrespectful to God.
Okay.
And he warned us.
What about white people and like even like the Alabama thing? Because now it's been such a bad time to be black, and now you had this Alabama Broad River situation, and it's like black people just like, hey, I
better
days are coming. You know what I'm saying?
I love how we
everything ain't so bad.
Together.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, like,
but we
it's
can't
a good
get
time.
them that way.
I mean, that's one instance. I mean, we're not.
And I understand that.
I mean,
but I don't want us to get our revenge on white man,
right?
Because
see, for me, I think that's a small victory.
Right, that is.
It's a small victory. Like,
that's not our victory. You understand?
It's a small victory because you got to, I guess, unleash some frustrations that we've had that's been much wanted and much needed. I mean, the frustration is literally in our DNA. Like, if we're talking about being more for real, let's be more for real about the frustration being in our DNA. To where as though we know that certain things such as code switching, you know, when we around talking to our partners, but when we at work and when we on a business call, we switch into that other part of us. We got to tap into that other part of us that white people don't have to discover. They can just be them all day long. But us, when we go to that formal occasion or applying for jobs, we got to switch and put on a mask and masquerade around the place.
No, you don't. You told me earlier, your whole resume is real. So
you
don't go in there no way, shape, or form and do no line. Everything's real, right?
It is, but yet still check. This is what I mean.
I brought that back up. I had to hold that.
I'm glad you did. So when I'm talking on the phone with them, I'm like, hey, yes, sir. No, sir. No, this wouldn't happen because
that's the real
this situation,
right?
No. I'm gonna tell you, that's code switching.
So
the real me
lie.
is how I am on camera.
I'm gonna get them.
The real me is how I am on camera. Yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. No, it's not allowed in the application.
So you actually lied in the interview. That's even worse than
it's not lying.
Application.
It's not lying.
But what is portraying something that's not true?
No, it's not even portrayal. It's called professionalism, and that's something that black people already have a strike against us in professionalism because we did not
professionalism. Acting like
because imagine
stay professional.
Okay, now look, we have to be practical. See, what I don't like to do is I don't like to argue. Let's be practical.
Tell me.
Imagine you had a lawyer and you fighting for a case, and this lawyer come in talking about, I mean, judge, this nigga whoop whoop whoop. You ain't gonna wanna no nigga representing you and no court case like that. No, because that's how niggas talk with each other. I mean, if we want to talk and we want to be for real, when a nigga start talking and we want to be like, no, you can't do that. You fired. Go ahead and talk like that. Go ahead and talk like you want to talk.
But not all
black
and
your dumb tail fired. And see, on the flip side is white people have certain things that they can't say either because
that's what I was about to say. There's a lot of whites who talk
it's a job.
Ignorant.
It's a job. They have rules. They have rules at the end of the day. But the race relation, nonetheless, in America, I would say is not even progressive. It's not even at a stalemate. You got a lot of white people from my opinion. I'm gonna say opinion. You got a lot of white people who are very accepting of black people, but in my opinion, all white people are still racist because they will never ever give up their privilege to benefit another black person, and you understand that privilege. Just like Jane, if y'all heard the segment, she asked those white people, and there was a room full of white people. She said, "How many of y'all want to be treated like black people in America? Stand up."
They know they weren't.
How many of them stood up?
Know how
and like she pointed out so eloquently, she said that means y'all know how black folk are being treated in America. So why can't we talk about this? Why can't we talk about black people still being discriminated? The reason why our household wealth gap is so large is because the banks still control loans and grants and all that stuff. They're not giving to your goddamn run down ghetto ass community, and that's a fact. The hoods get poorer and poorer. The houses become in worse and worse condition. I mean, it's just the racism, as I should say, is systemic. And that's why one day I'm really going to attack English. Because when you look at the word racist, literally a black person cannot be racist. And I know a lot of people going to say, oh, you crazy. Black people can be racist. Black people being racist. Holler at me in the comments. You don't agree with me, man, tell me, come on, what's up? Talk about it. Let's talk about it. White, black, brown, Asian. Black people can't be racist. You heard me say it. Black people cannot be racist because racist is a profession. Who is a professional at race other than white people? Nobody. Nobody treats race as a profession. It's a culture. White people lack culture. That's why we have a disparity. White people have to get culture from somewhere else. So instead of culture, they replace culture for race dominance. This is how they had the imperialism and all the Puritans and everything else like that. But that's real history. They control race relations. They say, look, I'm going to come over here, you Native Americans. I'm going to give you a blanket. I'm going to do this, whatever. I'm going to bring slaves over here with me. I'm going to convert y'all over to this religion. And I'm going to have the God look like a white man. Does that sound familiar? Or am I talking too crazy? Because I think that's actually what happened. Did we see roots? I mean, am I missing something here? Am I missing something here? Have not our ancestors been held down in that form, fashion, and capacity? Am I missing something?
And I agree with you wholeheartedly. Remember, I'm 60 years old. But you are absolutely correct on so many things that you said. But we have to get our reparations by stop following them, stop doing what they want us to do, and start doing what's right for our race. You see the difference between the two? Because reparations, they can give us all the money we want to, but it's actually money coming from them, which they control all over again. So what is the purpose? We need our own lane without battling the white man. To realize that if we were the issue at the beginning and slavery is only punishment for us being wrong, how about correcting our wrong? then the power of the white man wouldn't be the power of the white man.
My fear is this. See now, look, like I said, I believe in the Bible, I believe in the Most High, but I am going to say, I'm gonna say this is that humans probably have a more animalistic nature than we like to admit. I don't believe humans are animals, but when you look at animals, only the fittest survive. So asking a white man for a lane so that you can do your own thing, it's like going out in the wild. It's like going out in the wild as a goddamn cheetah and asking a gazelle, could you lay down so I can get something to eat?
I never said ask. That's where we keep falling. We keep asking them to do it. I never said ask. Remember? Not one time that I never said we should have to ask them for anything. See, that's where our problem go wrong. We go get their permission before we do anything.
Man, realest conversations ever. Where the white people at? We want the white people. We want to see how white people feel.
You know that.
Tell us how you feel about black people. Because y'all have those conversations by yourself. That's a part of the problem. Y'all have that conversations with yourselves. Y'all like that behind closed doors. But when we have open conversations on these platforms, y'all know where to be present. This is what I'm saying. This is why we can't grow. Let's have these conversations. You know, a white person a white person that ain't scared to speak their mind. Let them see how they feel about black people without black people trying to freaking destroy them.
It's no danger with us for speaking your mind. Let's have
that platform.
It's danger for not having a conversation.
We got a comment that says, I'll admit to being a bit prejudiced. It's a protective response to past encounters with other races, including the cactus people. So now this is what I would say. The cactus people. See, look. Now look. This is what I would say.
I kind of get it.
This is what I would say. I would say that everybody is prejudiced. Everybody has their own prejudice.
To a degree.
Without prejudice, there's no bias. Everybody has a certain bias. There's no such thing as not being prejudiced. But the reason why I said that I will eventually one day attack English is because prejudice and racism is not the same thing. And I'll say it again. Prejudice and racism is not the same thing. We all have our own prejudice, which is where we get prefixes and words like prefer, your preference. Prejudices are preferences, which everybody's entitled to their own preference, which does not necessarily make them racist. For instance, let me give you an example. Let's say it's a white woman, and this white woman, she only prefers to date other white men. She does not like black guys in that capacity. Does that make her racist? No, but her preference is her prejudice, but it's not racist because most people tend to date their own kind, which makes her not racist, but prejudice, which we all have a certain prejudice or bias. So, like I said, prejudice, we all have prejudice. We all have prejudice, but we cannot be racist. We cannot be racist, and that's my point of view. If you disagree, hit me up. I don't care if you're a doctor, lawyer, if you're a goddamn zebra tiger, if you black or white, it don't matter. Let's argue. Let's get to the facts. Let's be more for real.
Let's debate. No arguing. We don't argue.
Let's be more for real.
We negotiate or we debate, but we don't argue.
Yeah. But see, that's how hot the race relationship is in America. Like, white people can't talk about black people the way black people talk about white people. Let's get that out the way. You know what I'm saying? We just had this Alabama event, and black people all cheering over that. Imagine if white people put that on the internet in the same capacity. For real now, imagine that. How many people you heard say that? Look, if you haven't heard it, you heard it here on BMore4Real. Look, BMore4Real. We gonna talk about it. So look, imagine if a white person did that, right? And the white people did that, and they showed the video of them just beating these people out the harbor, beating these niggas out the harbor. I mean, niggas wouldn't like that too much now.
That's like I said, they put white lives matter. You see, they can't do things. Absolutely. But at the same time, our ancestors didn't have your ancestors as slaves. So because of that reason, you can't have some of the things. And then you have all the other privileges. So you want to sacrifice one from the other, then if you do, then that's a whole nother situation.
Right.
See, we can talk, we can get along, but we've got to have this conversation. We have to communicate. We have to be able to have this conversation. That's how we grow.
Yo, we gotta be able to have the realest conversation on the planet. I'm telling you, it's really about race because we really want to hear, white people's side on that because we black, and I mean, To be honest with you, I had these conversations before with white people in a capacity that wasn't being recorded. You know what I'm saying? I had these conversations with people that were African, and you know what I'm saying, they in this capacity, and I just seen a memory on Facebook a while ago, or a couple of days ago, about a memory that was a while ago, where I was talking to an African guy, and he was just saying that he don't like African Americans. He don't like the way that we portray ourselves in movies and all that other stuff. He don't like the way that we carry ourselves in public. Um, he was talking about a whole bunch of things that he didn't like about African Americans, and I really couldn't say anything at the time because I mean, like, he shared my same skin color. He was darker than me, really, but I mean, I was just looking at him like, oh shucks, and it sounded kind of cringy to hear. It almost sounded like a white person was talking, but it was another African guy, and he was just saying that African Americans are so freaking vile, basically, that we don't even protect our own image. Our women walk around however they want to. He was really going in. I'm telling you, he was really going in. He was really going in on American culture and on black people. And I was like,
yeah, but I like black folks. I mean, calling me African American, I think everyone is an African. Everyone originates from African. So you are African, whatever. So don't change me with anyone else. I'm just saying I'm black in America.
Well, you're not two continents. I disagree with that. No. And see, African American.
All of us came from Africa.
When did the term African American come into effect? You know, back in your day when you grew up, what did they call black people? Negroes, exactly. So
it's so many different.
Can you tell me a time when you remember that African American came into play?
I don't even know. I think they would call that.
You know who coined the term African American? No. Jesse Jackson in like 1986, 85, somewhere around there.
Like that. I like
African American wasn't even a term until the 1980s. That's a fact. That's a fact.
I'm not feeling any.
Prior to then, we were Negroes.
No, I just don't like African Americans.
Prior to then, we were Negroes.
I don't like I'm like, listen, I'm a black man in America. That's plain and simple. Straight to the point. Straight to the point.
A black man in America.
But we need ideology. So if we don't get on a path where we agree on simply who to call us, that's why we can't get anywhere. See,
ideology, I would like to stay away from words like that, because ideology may be something that breeds deception and all that stuff. What we need is a solid foundation. It
has to start with ideology. It has to start with a belief.
A solid foundation. Not no belief. I'm talking about a solid foundation, a code.
That we got
because a code is not an ideology. A code is not an ideology. A code is actually a system. It's systemic. Now remember how racism still exists. Racism is systemic. It still exists systemically. And let's touch on that again before we leave. I want people to understand that racism still exists. And I want people to understand that banks, the world banks, the national banks, the JP Chases and Morgans, these people had slaves. That's how they built their wealth. Mm-hmm. And black people asking for reparations, and they will not give them to them, but yet they are still bankers today. And these same bankers was responsible for redlining us, responsible for putting us in ghettos, making ghettos, not giving us mortgages and grants and loans, and they still are bankers today. So racism doesn't exist like Jim Crow with the hanging and all the nooses, but it still exists in Jim Crow in terms of the laws. Why? How is it that black people are still unarmed being killed by the police? How many unarmed Asian people have you seen being killed by the police in America? I'll give you 10 seconds. Name one Asian American that was gunned down unarmed in the street. Go. You can't name one. Exactly, because they don't do that to them. They don't do that to them. Why don't they do that to them? Name one Jewish person that was shot down in the streets of America.
Don't happen.
Name one.
Doesn't happen.
It don't happen.
I know it doesn't happen.
How the hell it happen with us?
Because you know why?
How?
Because people only do to you what you allow.
Exactly.
And we keep allowing.
I concede to that.
Because we do it to each other. That's why.
I concede to that.
We don't care anymore.
But we need to iron out certain factors. And that's why I said, I remember the guy named too that I was talking about, Ben Shapiro. He was talking to a black person. He said black people are 13% of U.S. population, but they attribute for 40% of U.S. homicides, which is a very interesting fact. It's a fact too. black men at that, not women, but black men at that are 13. Black people are 13% of U.S. population,
And
but
to
black
get into
men.
that, I don't even believe that.
It's true.
But
It's true.
how?
And
I try to figure it out
it's
how.
true because it's true, and this is how you know it's true because black men are incarcerated 5 or 6 times higher than
That's the
next
only way
race.
they can trace that. I'm talking about
No,
the average.
you know
how
we
they
are.
did the censors.
You know we are.
How they
You know
trace
we are.
down
It's a-
blacks in the United States. You ever seen how they
It's
did
a
the
lot of facts
census?
with that.
Most of them never fill them out. They never, even when we were young growing up, that's how you know how they found out how the percentage of who's who. They do those censors. That's how they know.
Well, what I'm saying is that there's already data.
But where?
That has already
Look
backed it up.
at
The
the-
CDC,
remember, I'm 60,
the government,
you're not.
the government, the CDC, they
Look
already
at
backed
the
this up.
source. Look, who backed it up?
What does the source have to
All
do?
for what?
What does the source have to do with the information, though?
All right, man, listen, let me tell you why. When we were growing up, how they counted who was in America. This is how you know who was counted. They did the census.
Okay.
They had to. That's how
they
they
still do the
found
census.
out.
They've been
Right.
doing the census.
But
So what
None
else?
of them never registered. You know how many census they did? Never. So many people that came in never registered.
So you mean it's okay? So let me ask you this: are there more black people in America or white people?
Of course, they more white, but
Exactly.
So the
census, we can say that it's true then, right?
13. Watch this. 13%.
13, right.
Do you understand? They're
Right.
saying
Right.
that because they
And
let
on
us
top
know
of that-
it's
on
not
top
enough
that-
of us.
On top of that, let's be more for real. Black people are concentrated in certain areas in the United States. Black people
Oh.
only exist in certain cities. Black people are not in Maine. Black people are not in Wyoming, North and South Dakota
Oh, they're
like that.
there.
The majority of America is white.
Listen, they're
It's
there.
white.
Yes, they
It's
are.
white.
They
That's a
are
fact.
there. I
That's-
never said the
that's a
majority,
fact.
right? I
That's
know
a
the
fact.
majority. But do you understand they're saying 13%? That's only 3% more than 10%. So that's saying all the rest is not. That's why I said, listen, you got to calculate on what they're saying because if they believe that we're a small
even if they
minority,
we are in America.
we're really not.
We are.
I know we're not a higher percentage as that, but
So
13%.
let's be more for real about that. If y'all think differently, y'all
We're
agree
going
with
to pull
Uncle
it
Wayne.
out. And remember
If y'all
how
agree
they
with
got
Uncle
the
Wayne,
census. Now follow my lead. Y'all young. Because
if
people
y'all agree with Uncle
say
Wayne, let us
you
know.
gotta stop.
We'll pull this up next week because we running over time for real. But look, I mean, it's more white people in America than black people. That's what my
not no 13%.
that's what my research showed that it's more white people in America
never said what
than
more.
any other races combined. That's what my
Stop telling
research
us
showed.
13%.
Black people, white people, black people, Latino,
Right.
and Asian people
And watch this.
combined
When
are
you
still
look it
less
up,
than white people in America.
It's gonna hurt your feelings how Latino people are moving up on us. Watch when you see the percentage.
No,
'cause
I know they're
think y'all
more
to
than
do that.
us, but I'm still saying that white people are the majority in America. That's what I'm saying.
I don't even know who they white to. That's another thing. Who is white?
White people are the majority in America. They are, and that's just being more for real about the situation.
Right. But not no 13%.
Black people are 13% of the U.S. population. Maybe
All
even
right,
less.
we gotta debate that.
Maybe even
We
less.
gotta find out who we
Maybe
really
even
are.
less. Maybe even less. What y'all
And
say,
do our
man? What
own
y'all say?
census.
Make sure y'all like, share, man. We got the realest conversations on the planet. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, we really do.
Be more for real.
Let's see. What percentage of the United States is black?
That's gonna take a while. Next week, we're gonna add that on. It's gonna take a
No,
while.
you can't see, but it say 13.6.
I know they're gonna say that. That's what all the records say.
13.6.
That don't mean it's
that's
true.
That's true.
How?
That
Remember the source. Remember we said that. What is the source?
the source are the people that been calculating the census and that been know. And these are the
So
people.
they went all around saying 1, 2,
No,
3,
listen,
4,
yes,
5,
exactly.
6, 7, 8,
Exactly. Now look, these are the same people that control the government, that control when people get taxed, that know when people go to the hospital,
There we go.
that know
They-
when people go to jail.
they do it off the
They got the
census.
records of all of these people.
I have the records.
Now it's not just. I see. Look, I don't
Look,
do all that. See,
my stepfather
when the
died,
numbers
I would
come
show
out,
you
now
that.
they wanting to speak the numbers. I'm not that type of guy. I look at the
My
numbers.
stepfather didn't have
See,
a
look.
birth certificate.
I look at the numbers for what they say. So look, let's say, they say, all right, we had an experiment and we got 1,000 people out of the society, right, out of the United States, and out of these 1,000 people, 200 people experienced some type of thing, which means about 20%. which is like 2 out of 10. 1,000 and 200 is like 20%. So they can say, look, according to our study, 20% of people have this type of problem based on our study because they sampled 1,000 people out of the population. So that's how they get their numbers. They're not looking at each and every single
If they got that 1,000 people there,
they're not looking at each and every single individual person. And see,
job.
and the reason why I like that system and the reason why that system makes sense is because we're not going to account for anomalies. Exceptions do not make the rules. You're not going to say just because a person went out into the woods and encountered a lion in the bush in Africa that now it's safe for humans to approach lions in the bush because 1 out of 20 encounters resulted in a human being able to pet a damn lion. You will still tell humans to stay far away from a goddamn lion, even though this damn wild lion allows you to pet him. Just one person.
Or it might be
we're not
going
to say, oh yeah, well, this one person, he was able to pet the lions. The lion's not that scary. No, we're not doing that. We're not going to say, well, this person got bit by the cobra and he lived, so it's sorry he get bit by the... No, that's just dumb.
But it might be more than 13%. It might be
not
19%.
It's not.
It is?
It's not.
Might be.
It's not.
And then how about the mixed breeds? Do you see what I mean? What do they consider? Black or white?
Black.
See, that's what I said.
They consider black.
Some of them don't. They consider themselves white.
They can consider themselves whatever they want to consider themselves, but because society dictates that for you.
Remember,
some people feel like they are a man or a woman out here, and society gonna show you quick enough. Let your ass go to jail. We gonna see what jail they send your ass to. They ain't gonna send you to no
look on the birth certificate.
They ain't gonna send you no Transformers jail.
You say you black. You know who you say you came out and you did.
People want to think, look, I like to identify as a goddamn millionaire. Let's see if I get respected as one.
That's a different story. Now. You need the money for that, but I want to identify that. What you want me? Now that's the box I'm gonna check. Give me my money.
Hey yo, this is the realest
BMore4Real. See, we don't always agree, but we love to disagree.
We love y'all. Man, we really do, man. This is BMore4Real. Make sure y'all like, man. Make sure y'all share. Make sure y'all subscribe. We
this Wednesday, every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. We here. We at America's neck. We at the black community neck. We at everybody neck trying to get everything straight because we BMore4Real. We appreciate y'all. Thanks for joining us. BMore4Real.